Hello and welcome to the Expensive Coins History channel. Ever wondered which South Korean 101 coins are worth way more than their face value? Moneybag today, we're counting down the top 5 rarest and most valuable 101 coins you need to know about. From misprints to limited editions, these little coins pack a big punch. Let's dive in. The 1988 no-mint South Korean 101 coin. Many collectors are surprised to learn that this seemingly ordinary coin from the late 1980s has attracted attention in recent years, especially as questions rise about its history, its minting background, its scarcity, and just how much it might be worth in today's market. In this video, we're going to take a deep and professional look at this coin, covering its origins, its design, its mintage numbers, collector interest, rarity factors, and what it is actually worth in 2025. Let's begin by understanding the origins of the 101 coin from that era. The 1988 issue belongs to a long-standing series in South Korea featuring the legendary Admiral Lee Sun-sin on the obverse. His portrait has become iconic and instantly recognizable to anyone familiar with Korean currency. The reverse shows the large numeric denomination, 100, along with the year of minting. The coin is made of copper nickel, weighs just over 5 grams, and has a reeded edge. It was produced by the official South Korean Mint, which traditionally does not apply mint marks to its regular circulating coinage. This is why the 1988 coin, as well as most others of the series, carries no mint mark at all. The absence of a mint mark therefore does not indicate rarity by itself, nor does it point to a special variant. It simply reflects the minting policy of the time. Now, one of the most important questions collectors ask is how many of these coins were produced. The 1988 101 coin had an extremely high mintage, with hundreds of millions created for everyday use. This places it firmly in the category of mass-produced circulation currency. However, while the original minting volume was enormous, the number of coins that remain in top-grade, uncirculated condition today is far lower. Over the course of decades, the vast majority of these coins were spent, worn down, scratched, and exposed to heavy circulation. As a result, while the coin itself is not rare, high-quality preserved examples are less common and are the ones that tend to draw collector attention. Another reason the 1988 issue still attracts interest is the historical period in which it was made. South Korea in the late 1980s was experiencing major economic growth and global attention, especially with the Seoul Olympics taking place in 1988. For many collectors, coins from this year represent a snapshot of a dynamic moment in Korean history. That extra layer of context adds emotional and historical appeal, even if the coin's intrinsic rarity is modest. When discussing collectability, condition is the number one factor that influences price. A 1988 101 coin that has spent 30 or 40 years in circulation will typically show visible wear, loss of detail on the portrait, surface marks, and a duller finish. These circulated coins generally command only a very small premium above face value. On the other hand, a well-preserved coin with sharp details and a bright, original mint luster is significantly more desirable. Collectors classify these as uncirculated or mint-state coins, and they represent the upper end of the value range. Even coins that fall just below uncirculated condition, such as extremely fine or about uncirculated, can still be more appealing to collectors assembling complete sets. Now let's talk about actual market value in 2025. Many online listings and catalog references can cause confusion, sometimes showing very high asking prices that do not reflect realistic market behavior. The truth is that a typical circulated 1988 101 coin has a low monetary value, often only a few cents if converted into US currency. These coins are widely available, and most collectors already have multiple examples. Their value primarily comes from completeness of a set rather than rarity. For coins in better condition, the story changes slightly. A clean, sharp, uncirculated example may attract buyers willing to pay a few dollars, sometimes reaching into the low double-digit range depending on condition, presentation, and demand at the time. Special interest dealers might list these at higher prices, but actual sales tend to settle within a modest range. It is important to remember that asking prices do not always equal selling prices. The true indicator of value is what collectors are actually paying, not what sellers hope to receive. In 2025, the realistic value of the 1988 no mint mark 101 coin falls into two main categories. Circulated coins are generally worth only a small amount above face value, making them more sentimental or educational than financially valuable. Uncirculated or near-uncirculated coins can be worth a few dollars, potentially more if they have excellent eye appeal or if they are professionally graded. However, even in the best cases, this coin is not typically worth large sums of money. Its value is rooted in historical interest, collectability, and condition rather than rarity or precious metal content. Despite this, the coin remains a fascinating part of modern Korean numismatics. It represents a period of significant national development, international visibility, and cultural pride. It is also a great entry-level coin for new collectors, offering rich history at a low cost. Whether you treasure it as a keepsake, include it in a world coin collection, or simply enjoy the story it carries, the 1988 101 coin is a piece of history that still has a place in the hobby. If you have one of these coins at home, take a close look at its condition. Examine the sharpness of the portrait, the shine of the surface, and the clarity of the lettering. These small details can make a noticeable difference in value. And remember that while most examples are common, exceptional pieces always stand out. 1989 South Korean 101 coin with no mint mark. Many people come across this coin and wonder whether it is rare, whether it has special collector value, and whether it could be worth a significant amount of money today. By the end of this video, you'll understand its history, why some people believe it is valuable, what actually determines its worth, and what you can realistically expect its value to be in 2025. The 101 coin is one of the standard denominations in South Korea's modern coinage, and the 1989 issue belongs to an era when millions of these coins were produced for everyday use. The coin is made of copper nickel, giving it its familiar silver-gray color, and it weighs just over 5 grams with a diameter of 24 millimeters. On the front of the coin appears the portrait of Admiral Lee Sun-sin, one of Korea's most celebrated historical figures. His image has long been featured on the 101 coin as a symbol of courage, leadership, and national pride. On the reverse of the coin is the large 100 denomination, the year 1989, and the inscription of the issuing authority, all reflecting the clean and functional style typical of South Korean circulating coinage of that period. Many viewers specifically wonder about the no mint mark detail. Unlike some countries where mint marks can dramatically change rarity and value, the 1989 101 coin was produced without a mint mark as the standard issue. In other words, the absence of a mint mark does not indicate a special error, variety, or rare version. It simply means this is the normal coin produced for circulation that year. However, while the coin is not rare because of a missing mint mark, collectors still look at other factors that can create scarcity, especially condition. The total number minted in 1989 was extremely large, but the number of coins surviving in excellent, uncirculated condition is far smaller. Most of these coins circulated heavily, suffered wear, scratches, and environmental damage. That is why collectors pay more attention to high-quality pieces that retain strong details and original luster. At this point, many people ask the big question: what is this coin worth? Can a 1989 no mint mark 101 coin bring in surprising amounts of money in 2025? The straightforward answer is that the average circulated coin has only modest collector value. A normally used example is typically worth only a small amount, often just around a few cents to a few dollars depending on the buyer and condition. Only coins preserved in extremely fine or uncirculated condition can reach slightly higher amounts. Beautifully stored, sharply detailed coins may sometimes sell for a few dollars, and in some unusual cases even more, depending on collector interest. However, it's important to understand why unrealistic prices sometimes appear online. On auction platforms or social media, you may see claims that a 1989 101 coin sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars. These posts often gain attention, but they almost never represent verified or realistic values. In many cases, those listings were mispriced, not actually sold, or involved a different coin entirely. Others come from sellers intentionally exaggerating value to attract views or clicks. Because this coin was produced in such massive numbers, the normal 1989 101 coin is not extremely rare, and therefore it does not command enormously high prices. That said, a coin in pristine, untouched, near-perfect condition might appeal strongly to a collector who is trying to complete a modern Korean coin set, which could help it sell for more than average. If you have one of these coins at home and want to know whether it is worth keeping or selling, there are a few important steps to follow. First, examine the overall condition. Look closely at the details of Admiral Lee Sun-sin's portrait, the sharpness of the lettering, and whether the surface shows scratches, dullness, or signs of cleaning. Cleaning a coin can sometimes lower its value by damaging its surface. Second, consider whether the coin still has original luster, which appears as a bright, almost reflective sheen. Third, handle the coin carefully by its edges to avoid adding fingerprints or wear. And fourth, if your coin appears to be in near-perfect condition, you may want to compare it with high-grade examples online or consult a professional coin dealer. Now let's talk about what this coin is realistically worth in 2025. For the majority of circulated coins, the value is small, usually equivalent to only a fraction of a dollar. A decently preserved coin might reach around $1 to $2. In better grades, especially uncirculated examples, values can rise slightly higher. If a seller lists one for $10 or more, that does not necessarily mean it will sell at that price. The true value is determined by actual buyer interest, the physical state of the coin, and the authenticity of the condition description. Despite its modest monetary value, the 1989 no-mint mark 101 coin remains a meaningful collectible. It represents an important era in South Korean economic development, celebrates one of the nation's greatest heroes, and serves as an accessible entry point for new collectors. Many world coin collectors enjoy adding different years of 101 coins to their albums, and the 1989 issue is an essential year in the series. Even if the coin is not extremely valuable, it holds historical and cultural significance that makes it worthwhile for anyone interested in Korean numismatics. As we wrap up, remember that coin collecting is not only about financial gain. It is also about appreciating the artistry, heritage, and stories behind each piece. If you found this coin in old savings, inherited it from family, or discovered it among your travel souvenirs, you now have a better understanding of its background and realistic value. Whether you choose to keep it, sell it, or simply cherish it as part of your collection, it remains a fascinating piece of currency history. 1993 no-mint mark South Korean 101 coin. At first glance, this coin may seem like just another piece of everyday pocket change, but behind its simple design lies an interesting blend of history, national symbolism, and numismatic curiosity. And for collectors in 2025, understanding its background, rarity, and true market value is essential. So let's explore what makes this coin noteworthy and what it may actually be worth today. To appreciate the 1993 issue, we first need to understand the evolution of the 101 coin itself. South Korea introduced the 101 denomination in the early 1970s, but the modern design featuring Admiral Lee Sun-sin began in the 1980s and continued for decades. Lee Sun-sin, one of Korea's most revered military heroes, symbolizes bravery, resilience, and national pride, and his portrait became a defining feature of the 101 series. By 1993, this design was well established and widely circulated throughout the country. The 1993 coin was struck from copper nickel, weighing just over 5 grams and measuring 24 millimeters in diameter. As with other coins of this era, the 1993 issue carries no special mint mark, as South Korean circulation coins typically did not use mint marks. This is why the phrase, no mint mark, is common with collectors, though it does not indicate a special era or variety for this year. It simply means the production followed the standard style of Korean minting during that period. In terms of mintage, the 1993 101 coin was produced in very large quantities. Millions upon millions entered circulation, making it a common coin in everyday life. However, there is an interesting twist. Even though the mintage was high, finding well-preserved examples today is not always easy. Most pieces were heavily used, scratched, worn down, or eventually removed from circulation as years passed. This is why collectors often describe the 1993 issue as scarce and high grade, even though it is not truly rare. Now let's talk about condition, which plays the biggest role in determining the coin's value in 2025. A circulated 1993 101 coin, the kind you might find in an old drawer or mixed in with world coins, usually holds only modest value. In most cases, a circulated example is worth roughly a few cents up to around $1 or $2 at the very most, depending on appearance and demand. However, the story becomes more interesting when we consider coins in exceptional condition. Uncirculated or near uncirculated pieces, with sharp details, clean surfaces, and no signs of wear, can attract significantly more collector interest. These coins may reach values from a few dollars up to around $10 or even $15 in the best cases. This upper range is not common, but it does appear in the collector market when the coin is exceptionally well preserved, especially if it has strong luster and no handling marks. It is important to be realistic, though. Even a beautiful 1993 101 coin is not considered a major rarity, nor is it typically sold for very high values. It is not a rare error coin, a limited commemorative issue, or a low mintage piece. Its desirability comes more from nostalgia, interest in Korean currency, and the challenge of finding a clean, attractive example from the early 1990s. For many collectors, that is enough to make it a small but meaningful addition to a world coin collection. In the broader market of 2025, interest in modern Asian coinage has been steadily rising, especially among newer collectors who appreciate detailed designs and historical figures like Admiral Lee Sun-sin. This gradual increase in attention has helped stabilize the market for coins like the 1993 101, giving it steady, though modest, value. But it is crucial not to confuse collector interest with high monetary worth. This coin is valuable to collectors mainly for educational, historical, and completion purposes, not because it is exceptionally rare or overly sought. So if you own a 1993 South Korean 101 coin, what should you do? First, examine its condition closely. Look for signs of wear, check the sharpness of the portrait and the numbers, and see whether the coin still has its original mint luster. If it appears lightly circulated or completely uncirculated, it may be worth holding onto or selling to a collector. If it is heavily worn, its value will likely remain low, though it still has sentimental and collectible appeal. As of 2025, the realistic market value of a typical 1993 101 coin ranges from almost nothing up to a couple of dollars for circulated examples. Truly uncirculated pieces may reach values in the $10 range depending on grading and demand. While it is not a coin that will make you rich, it is a charming and historically meaningful piece of Korean currency that reflects an important era in the country's numismatic development. The 1993 no-mint mark South Korean 101 coin is a perfect example of how everyday currency can become a window into history. It tells the story of national pride, evolving minting technology, and the everyday economic life of a country. And for collectors, it offers an accessible and satisfying connection to Korea's cultural and monetary legacy. 1995 no-mint mark South Korean 101 coin, its background, how it was made, why some collectors call it rare, what it is actually worth, and its realistic market value in 2025. This script is long, professional, and perfect for a full YouTube video. Let's begin with the history. The 101 coin is one of South Korea's most widely used denominations. The 1995 issue continues the long-running design featuring Admiral Lee Sun-sin on the front, one of Korea's greatest naval commanders. The reverse side carries the denomination, the year, and a clean, simple layout typical of South Korean modern coinage. Like most 101 coins of its era, the 1995 version has a diameter of 24 mm, weighs a little over 5 grams, and is struck from a copper-nickel alloy with a reeded edge. Now, when collectors talk about no mint mark, they are referring to the fact that South Korean circulation coins do not include a visible mint mark. They were minted at the National Minting Facility, but unlike some countries that place letters or symbols to identify the mint, South Korea does not mark circulation coins in this way. So the 1995 101 is not a special error coin or a special version, it simply follows the national minting standard of the time. In terms of production numbers, the 1995 101 coin was struck in very large quantities. With hundreds of millions produced, it entered daily circulation throughout the country and stayed in active use for many years. This high mintage means the coin is widely available today. It is not a low surviving population coin, nor is it considered a key date in the South Korean series. However, even with large mintages, collector demand sometimes builds around specific dates, especially from the 1990s, because finding coins in excellent, untouched condition becomes more difficult as decades pass. Circulated examples are extremely common, but bright uncirculated pieces, with full mint shine and no wear, are scarcer. This is the main reason why some catalogs describe the date as scarce, not because few were produced, but because few remain in perfect condition. Now let's talk about value. Many people online have asked whether the 1995 No Mint Mark 101 coin is worth a lot of money. The short answer is, usually not. In the global coin market, this coin is typically priced as a very common modern issue. Circulated examples often sell only for a small amount above face value when sold internationally. The typical selling range sits around the equivalent of $0.50 to a little over $1 in average collectible condition. Uncirculated coins, those with no handling marks, no scratches, no wear on Admiral E. Sun Sin's portrait, and full original luster, can command a slightly higher price. Even then, the value remains modest. While you might occasionally see online listings asking $10 or more for a single coin, these are usually seller markups rather than actual market prices. Unless a buyer specifically wants a pristine 1995 example to complete a year-set collection, high asking prices rarely reflect real demand. So what about 2025? As of now, the market for modern South Korean circulation coins remains stable. With no significant shortages and metal composition unchanged, the 1995 101 coin still sits comfortably in the category of common modern world coins. In 2025, the realistic value for circulated pieces remains low, while nice uncirculated examples may bring a small premium among collectors who focus on Korean series or modern date sets. Some collectors are occasionally misled into thinking the coin is rare because of the "no mint mark" wording, since in some countries lack of a mint mark can mean an error or special variety. In this case, however, it simply refers to the standard minting practice of South Korea, not a mistake or rare type. Others assume rarity because of online listings with inflated prices or claims that any older coin must be valuable. But the true value of a coin always comes from a combination of mintage, demand, and condition, and in this case, the demand is steady but limited, and the supply is extremely large. The 1995 101 coin is a nice collectible, a piece of South Korean monetary history, and a fun addition to a world coin collection. It is not rare, not an error coin, and not a high-value piece in most cases. Its worth in 2025 remains modest, but it can still be something worth keeping if you enjoy collecting or if you want to assemble a full 101-year set from the 1990s. The 2008 South Korean 101 coin, often discussed online for its supposed rarity and unexpected value. Many collectors wonder whether this coin, especially the version commonly described as having no mint mark, is truly worth a lot of money. By the end of this video, you will understand its full history, what makes it interesting, how rare it actually is, and what its accurate market value looks like in 2025. The South Korean 101 coin is one of the most recognizable modern coins in Asian currency systems. It features the portrait of Admiral E. Sun Sin on the front, one of Korea's most respected national heroes. His image has appeared on the 101 coin for decades, which has made the design iconic and instantly familiar. The reverse side of the coin includes the large number 100, representing the denomination, along with the issuing country and the year of minting. The coin is made of copper-nickel alloy, giving it a bright silver tone and strong durability. These coins circulate heavily throughout South Korea, being used on a daily basis for vending machines, transportation, small purchases, and more. Now, focusing specifically on the 2008 issue, this year stands out to many collectors due to a combination of online discussions, catalog mentions, and claims about scarcity. While modern coins are often produced in huge quantities, certain years can become more interesting if production numbers shift or if fewer high-quality examples survive. Some coin enthusiasts also refer to the 2008 issue as having no mint mark, though South Korean circulation coins generally follow a consistent minting process without prominent mint marks as seen in some other countries. This has contributed to misconceptions that the 2008 coin is an error or a rare variation. While some catalog listings describe the 2008 101 as scarcer than other modern issues, it is important to understand what that means. In the world of numismatics, the term scarce can sometimes apply to availability in high-grade collector conditions rather than overall mintage. The year 2008 saw hundreds of millions of 101 coins produced, so the majority of these coins are not genuinely rare in circulation. They are widely found across South Korea and in the hands of many collectors worldwide. What can be less common, however, are pristine uncirculated examples, as most of these coins entered circulation immediately and experienced heavy wear. This brings us to the question of value. Online claims sometimes exaggerate the worth of this coin, suggesting it may be worth thousands of dollars. These statements usually arise from misunderstandings, misidentification of coins, or unrealistic expectations. In the actual collector market, the value of a standard 2008 101 coin is generally modest. A circulated piece typically sells for only slightly above its face value, since it is still a modern coin with abundant supply. Even nicer, lightly circulated examples tend to remain inexpensive. Only coins that have been preserved in truly exceptional mint state conditions, meaning no scratches, marks, or circulation wear, have the potential to rise above common pricing. Even then, these values remain low compared to genuinely rare numismatic items. For most collectors, an uncirculated 2008 101 coin might be worth anywhere from a small premium up to a couple of dollars, depending on the buyer and the condition. This makes it a nice piece for collection completion, but not a high-value treasure. However, coin collectors do enjoy this coin for other reasons. It represents a modern era of South Korean currency, features a beloved national figure, and forms part of a long-running series that many people enjoy completing year by year. For those collecting full-date runs of 101 coins, 2008 is an important entry. Additionally, collectors outside Asia often appreciate foreign modern coins for their unique designs, making this piece interesting even if not financially significant. Now let's talk about the coin's expected value in 2025. The value of modern coins like the 2008 101 generally changes very slowly. Unlike precious metal coins, these do not gain worth from metal content. Their main value comes from collector demand, graded condition, and relative availability. As of 2025, the market remains stable. Circulated coins hold very low monetary value, and even uncirculated examples maintain only modest premiums. Market trends show no significant rise in price for this issue, nor any sudden increase in demand that would transform it into a rare or high-value coin. So, for those storing this coin in hopes of future huge appreciation, expectations should remain realistic. What can impact the value slightly are unique situations such as error coins. A genuine mint error from 2008 could command a higher price, depending on severity and rarity. Errors may include off-center strikes, double dies, planchet issues, or misprints. But these must be verified and are not common. Most claimed errors turn out to be damage from circulation rather than genuine mint mistakes. The 2008 South Korean 101 coin is a fascinating piece of modern currency, rich in cultural significance and widely collected around the world. While sometimes described as scarce, it is not rare in a way that makes it highly valuable. Its worth in 2025 remains modest, and it should be appreciated for its historical and collectible qualities rather than for unrealistic expectations of high monetary value. If you enjoy collecting modern world coins, this one is a great addition to your set, especially if you can find a clean, uncirculated example. Thank you for watching. If you want more detailed videos about coin values, rare varieties, modern world coins, or hidden collectibles, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment below. Your support helps us continue bringing reliable, accurate coin information without hype or misinformation. Until next time, keep collecting with curiosity and knowledge.